Hey everybody, Tom here, and today I want to teach you how to make a horizontal deck box version 2.0. I have done an original horizontal deck box video and design for the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth game, but what I wanted to do was to make a Gloomhaven one, really similar, but just enough changes that I thought maybe I should just make a second video to make it easier. But basically this is what we're going to make, and now you might be here because of the Gloomhaven one. That's the first design I've done. But you might be here because of a design for a totally different game. If I have sent you to this video, it's because I used the exact same template, just different artwork. And so let me show you what I'm going to be making in this video is just this box here. Okay, so this is for Gloomhaven. It's for the monster cards. Now, just in case the question comes up, I designed a different kind of a box system to hold both the oh man, I've taken out the cards because they're in here. But basically, these cards will hold both the figures and the cards in these individual small boxes here. And so that design is available if you would like. Let me tell you more about that in just a second. But yeah, so I have boxes for the cards and the figures. But this is only for the cards. I know several people who keep the figures in Plano boxes or something like that, and so this is just a way to just organize the monster cards. And so this is what I'm going to be teaching you how to make today. Now, in the description of this video, you're going to find a link for a web page that I have created that puts together all of my crafting projects. It has links to download the files, and it has videos embedded in the pages and all that stuff, so that in theory, if you're interested in making one of these projects, could be this one, could be a different one, you can easily find the projects that will be fun for you on my website down below. So there it is. So hopefully at this point you have whatever printed out that you need to. All of my projects should just be printed on cardstock, and there will be different numbers of pages. But basically for this project there are three main things that you're looking for. There's going to be the base of the box, so that will be this part down here. And then there's going to be the lid of the box, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of different tabs. I just printed out one of the tabs pages just to show it and talk about it. But let's just quickly talk about the tabs. Should be really straightforward. You just cut these out. So this has 9 tabs here, and you're going to see that I don't know how people like to organize their boxes, so I have both a left and a right, or depending on the game, maybe I have 3 different options, whatever. But you're going to have a choice on where to make your tab. And again, just depending on how you organize it, this is how I organized mine, so that's how I cut out my tabs. But maybe you're going to do it differently. So I guess first thing is go ahead and cut out your tabs. You don't need a video to learn how to do that. You're fine, I'm sure. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to build both the base and the lid for this box. So let me just go ahead and get that off camera. And so I'm going to be focusing on these 2 pages here. I'm going to go ahead and make the base of the box first, and then the lid of the box. But however you do this, you should always print this on cardstock, as I said. The first step will always be to cut out the outside of the shape. Obviously you could use scissors, but if you have a paper cutter, this process will go a lot faster. But there should be an outer rectangle that you should be able to cut out there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. There is a tripod sitting right here, and it's really tough for me to paper cut with the tripod. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. But if nothing else, go ahead and pause the video, get your stuff printed out, go ahead and cut out the outside shape, meet me back here, and we should be able to make these boxes together. Alright, so you should be back, and as I pointed out before, I want to start by showing you how to make the base of the box, because that's usually the first thing you want to make so that you can put things into it before capping it. A couple of things I should have pointed out before I left you is, as I was cutting this, it's not the biggest deal, but if you can avoid having any of the printed black line on these 2 sides, it's going to look a little bit sharper. So keep that in mind. Maybe if you want to trim off a side, that's cool. But yeah, whatever. So that's a thing to know. I had one more thing that I was going to share with you, and I totally just slipped my mind. So we'll just go ahead and start building. Oh, this is what I was going to say. In all of my designs, I do my very best to make them as sturdy as possible by trying to make sure that there's like 2 or 3 layers on all of the sides, but also I try to use as much of the paper as possible. And so there's going to be, it kind of looks like it's complicated. That's my attempt to make things as sturdy and stable and cool looking as possible. All right, so now that we have the outside shape cut out, on this particular design, we're going to have 4 rectangles with X's. They're surrounded by dotted lines. Dotted lines in my designs mean cut, solid lines mean fold. So we're going to start out by cutting on the dotted lines, and I just put these X's here just so you won't stress out. And I just am trying to show you that yes, I am absolutely intending you to cut out these pieces. So let's go ahead and start by just cutting out those rectangles. There's going to be like kind of a lot of steps, and so after you've done this as many times as I have, there are some shortcuts that I'll kind of hint at. But for the most part, I'm going to take you through the slow process, just hoping that I can be clear enough. And of course, I've done this enough times that sometimes I go too fast. Please use that pause button as necessary. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish cutting out those rectangles. Now, I do all of my designs in Microsoft Word, which is, I'm just super familiar with it. This is just a table that I've manipulated the size of and painted and all that stuff. But I mentioned that because there's going to be a couple of trim lines that we're going to add that are really tricky for me to add using Microsoft Word. It just is a little glitchy, so I don't add them, but that's why we have the video, so I can give you some tips and tricks. The first one is going to be these rectangles, the one on the top of the bottom of this page if you're holding it like this. I want to turn that rectangle into a trapezoid by cutting out the corners like this. Just cut out a triangle. It does not need to be exact. It's just going to look a little bit nicer as we fold stuff a little bit later. So I'm just going to go ahead. That's my first trim line. Okay. Next, I'm going to do, okay, so there are some more dotted lines that we're going to need to cut soon, but I'm actually going to do a trimming first. Now this is going to be a little complicated, and if you want to just cut on the dotted lines first and then do this next part, okay. I just think this is going to be a little faster for us. If we keep, okay, do you see here, these 2 rectangles here? Okay, the ones I'm pointing out, this one and this one. And same on this side, this one and this one. If we keep those the same size as they're printed, we're going to have an issue with our folding later on. So I'm going to just trim just a little bit, like that much off of this rectangle. So let me start with that, okay? I'll do it all in one swoop in just a second, but basically just trimming. This part's going to be hidden, so it's okay if you trim more than I just did. But then I also want to trim from this corner to this printed corner over here. I'm going to cut out just this really skinny triangle, just cut out at this angle on that side right there. So you kind of see I did a straight line here and then a diagonal over there. So let's do that on this side. So I'm going to cut out a straight line here, just a little bit, and then I'm going to cut a diagonal, basically cutting out the triangle leading this way. Oh my gosh, are you freaking out because of where my hands are? You should be. And are you freaking out because my hands are really dry? I am. Okay, so we did that. Now let's hit the other side, so we'll turn it around. I'm a lefty, so it's easier for me to do this side than the other side. Go like that. Oh, I need to get a little bit more trim there. And this is just, we're going to be folding over this, so I'm just telling you, I've done this enough times that when you don't make these cuts, it's okay, but it gets a little awkward and sloppy. So, oh, yeah. Okay, so just some general trimming tips there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut the dotted line L shapes here. So, go ahead and cut this. Bring it over and cut it like that. And then we've got this one. Here. And then this one. And then finally this one. Like that. Okay. We have all of our cuts done. Let me get these scraps out of the way. And next up, we're going to fold. Now, almost always when I'm folding things, I like to do this face down like this. But there are 4 folds I want to do face up. So these rectangles, the ones that we shortened just a little bit, I want to take those while it's print side up, and let's fold those like this. Oh man, I did a terrible job, just barely. That's okay, we can fix it. Just like that. I just use my thumb to crease it. Sometimes I'll use the butt of the scissors to crease it. No big deal. Go ahead and bring this in, crease it. Okay, do the same on this side. Yeah, crease it. And the same on this side. Crease it. Okay, once we have those 4 folds, I'm going to turn it upside down. I will unfold them just so you can kind of see where I am. Next, let's talk about these 4 wings. I'm going to take these 4 wings and fold them this way. Okay, let your cut lines be your helper, and also you can kind of see, you'll just barely be able to see the printed line there. Again, we're going to be folding on all of these solid lines all over this box. So what I do here is I just fold the wings like that. That's my next step. If I'm going too fast, just pause. I don't need to tell you how to YouTube. You know how to do that. Okay, pause if you need to. Next, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing these 2 folds. So a fold right here and a fold right here. Okay, so a fold, just bring that trapezoid down. Again, let your cut marks help guide you. And I should get that tattooed on my arm. Like, let your cut marks, oh no. I just realized this is getting uncomfortable and insensitive, and that was accidental. Okay, take it back. Here we go. Let's go ahead here. And I apologize, by the way, that was a fluke. But okay, here we go. Next, so we got those folded. Next, we're going to fold these things. This is a little bit trickier. So you're going to see 3 lines here. I'm going to be folding on the second line where the white paper is meeting the printed paper. So we're going to fold this down until we just start to see the color. And then I'm going to just gently use my fingers as I bring that closer to a crease. And if you want to, you can use like these wings like this. Can you see that? Hold on, I can't tell. Yeah, you can see that. These wings will kind of help guide where that should be. And go ahead and give it a good crease like this. Okay. And next I'm going to fold on this line. I'm going to keep it folded, but I'm going to fold on that line and bring it forward, up and over, just like this. Sure, something like that. Okay. Now let's do the same thing on this side. So remember, our first fold is where the white paper is going to meet the printed paper. Bring that up and over. If you want to, you can use your wings and those rectangles to get it into place, maybe something like that. And then throw a crease in. Let's check, how did that look? Oh, that's like perfect. Nice. And then keep it folded. We're going to fold that one more time, just on that line, like that. Okay, now we are ready to assemble. Assembly is going to be just a little bit awkward, but follow along with me. Here we go. The trapezoids that we cut, let's just fold those backwards for now. They're going to eventually fold the way we did fold them, but they're going to be in the way for a minute. So just get those out of the way. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to bring the wings up on one of these sides. Bring these wings up, and we're going to bring this side up and over. The way we've done our creases, this should just go up and over and in. The rectangles going along the side of the box like that. And then I'm going to pinch. You see where I'm pinching here? Pinch the corners to make sure it's nice and snug, a good 90-degree angle side, and throw on some tape. I usually do 2 pieces of tape here. Ugh. Okay, and there's one side of our box. Beautiful. Next thing, the other side, we got to get these wings on the inside of the box like that. Bring this side up and over. Just follow your crease marks. Let those rectangles fall down on the side. So this is pretty much the same as my Lord of the Rings deck box. The difference being I added these tabs to fold over to hide the ugliness of this. As I've been making more and more craft projects, I'm finding things that I like and that are important to me. And one thing that has become important to me is, as often and whenever possible, to never have like a non-folded side exposed. I like that these are not paper cutty. I like that it adds stability. Take a look at what we've done so far. We have 2 layers here, 2 on the bottom, 2 here. So we're really making this box nice and strong. And our last step is, you can see we had trimmed down those rectangles. If we didn't trim it, those would be sticking up a little bit. But we're just going to bring this trapezoid up and over. Pinch it closed as you go ahead and tape it. And this is what I mean. That's just a nice soft edge. It's not paper cutty. It's not ugly. It looks good. That's what makes this 2.0. Yeah, I made a whole new video just for that. And I debated about it for a long time. But either way, look at that base. It looks beautiful. I love it. Okay, cool. So you've got the base of the box. You can go ahead and get your cards and your tabs in there, however you want to do that. And next up, what we're going to do is we're going to make the lid of that box. Now, initially, I threw it away. I had a lid that was the exact same design as the base. The problem was once the lid went on, like it met halfway. If you saw my Teotihuacan pyramid tile box, that worked better because they were tiles. But basically, the lid would like flop around. So I have made this lid to cover the whole box so that it can't like, you know, I don't know if that makes any sense, but there was thought put into this project. I'm just trying to emphasize that. Okay, so this box is huge, and so because of that, we're not going to have the same nice stability of having like 2 layers on everything. But that also means that this is going to be very, very simple to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut out the rectangles as we go. And you can kind of see the shortcut I'm going to take right now is let's turn this rectangle that's going to be left over into a trapezoid. So I'm just going to go like that. Same thing over here. I know that eventually I'm going to cut out this triangle, so I might as well do it now. And let's go ahead and go like that. Leave these alone for right now, these sides. Let's come over here, cut out the X. And then I'm just going to make that a trapezoid. Same thing here, make it a trapezoid. Go ahead and cut it like that. Now you can see on mine I still have a little bit of white left over. That's totally okay. This side is going to be hidden, so don't stress too much about that. Next up, we have 4 dotted lines. We're going to go ahead and cut on those. These are the wings that are going to get the tuck. So let's cut those lines. And as I said, I'm going to do a little bit of trimming because if it's being tucked, that means something's going to be wrapped over it. So I got to make sure that the wrapping goes good. So kind of in the same way we cut out a skinny triangle, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to do it on the outside part of this flap here. So the outside part, I'm going to go like this, towards the printed corner, right by that trapezoid. Same thing over here. Well, let's go this way. You've got a lot of flexibility here because these are such big flap things. I need better names. Okay. I got this last one over here. Again, this step is kind of optional. I've just done this enough to know if I don't do it, it gets messy. Now we have 2 more white rectangles, so you may have guessed I am going to go ahead and trim up the corners there. Like that. And like that. Perfect. Okay, so that should be done and good to go. So let me get these scraps out of the way. This is going to be so easy compared to that other one we just barely did. So I'm going to turn this over. Let's take the wings. We're going to fold the wings in. Now remember, this side is angled because that's how we cut it. This side should be straight across. So don't stress. I mean, we intentionally cut that at an angle, so it should look like it's cut at an angle. So let me go ahead and cut those 4 wings in, or fold them in. Oops. Okay, yeah. Oh, I did not do a good job there. Okay, and I cut a little bit too far there. No big deal. All right, so fold the wings in, and then we're going to do 1, 2 folds. So let's fold the trapezoid down. That's just one of those trapezoids that's there to make the edge look nice. I think I folded that too far. Oh, that's okay. And then we're going to fold this down like this. Do the same thing on this side. Sorry, my arm just bumped the camera. I don't think I folded that one enough. I could go a little bit more. So sometimes I have to like pull the edge with this cardstock and kind of force it down and then recrease it. Especially where I'm standing next to a camera, it's a little tougher than if you're at your kitchen table. Okay? And then 2 more folds, it's just these sides. Fold the trapezoid, fold the side in. Like I said, there's not going to be a lot of innovation here. It's not a lot of overlap. This is just, we need a box that will fit on a single paper. This is the best I could do to make it accessible to me and you. We'll do the same thing on this side over here. Okay, go ahead and crease that down. Bring this up and over. Nope. Nope. There we go. Crease it in. Okay, we got all of our creases. Now, we can actually, okay, so looking at the paper like this, we can actually go ahead and tape these things down now. We might as well. They're accessible. Like I said, these are just to add some sturdiness and to make the edge look a little more polished and finished than it would otherwise. Same thing on this side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw some tape down like that. Okay, assembly. This is going to be super simple. Take the wings, fold them up, bring this side up and over like this. Before you add some tape, make sure your corners look just the way you want them to. Again, I kind of cut a little far there, so that might be unappealing, but what can you do? Okay, so you can see where there's like there's like a T right there. I'm just going to throw some tape in. Oh, I did a really huge piece of tape, but basically you want to make sure that you hit that T and go. You may want to add some more tape just to make sure you go all the way across so like that's not poking out at all. So let me add some more tape here. Oh, sorry, I did that off camera. Then we'll just get the other side, fold those in, bring this up and over, check your corners, make sure your corners are lined up the way you want before you throw some tape in. They're not too loosey-goosey or nothing. Let me get some tape, hit the T, like that. And then I'm just going to grab 2 more pieces of tape just to finish off those sides, make sure they look good. If we don't trim the corners, it's not the end of the world, but sometimes it just doesn't lay as nicely flat as you might like. Cool. There we go. There's our lid. Super simple. Now, if this is bothering you, you may want to add some tape. Let me talk about tape differences in case you haven't heard me talk about it before. There's kind of like a foggy tape. This is invisible tape. It is invisible when you're taping on white paper, but it's not invisible when you're taping on color paper or print. And so there is transparent tape that'll be super see-through. You can see my tape dispenser's dusty. But I just mentioned if you don't like the way the corners are not super duper perfect, you could go ahead and just grab some of this transparent tape, put it like that, put it on the corners. Now I have studio lights on so you can kind of see the glare, but in normal lighting situations you really would hardly see that at all. But just an option in case you want to. Totally optional if you're nervous about that. Just when you go to the store, look for transparent tape if you're going to be taping on printed stuff, or invisible tape if you're going to be taping on white paper only. Okay, there we go. We've got our lid. I can throw that lid on the box like that. It is good to go. That should go into your Gloomhaven box, keep you nice and organized, or on your box of whatever game you just barely made. That's my horizontal deck box 2.0. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I have more craft projects. If you look for my craft project website, just follow the link in the video. And please, if you like what I'm doing, if you could share with other people, that would be cool. All right, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.